Welcome to my Sorare journey, episode 109. On today, we were going to look at building the squads and just showing my analysis behind my player selection, which is obviously very key for you guys at home. Now, I'm going on holiday today, so whether I do a flick back to sort of post-event and say, hey, this was right, this was wrong, that'll all depend on how I'm feeling. So, a lot of you will follow football, so you'll know exactly how these cards do anyway. So, looking on screen, this was sort of my first draft of how the teams could look. And, obviously the key goal for this week is 420 points, continuing that hot streak in the Premier League and season competition, getting $80. But beyond that, we need to be building more. We need to be hitting 20 plus places to get $100, $200, $400, $600, $1,000, $2,000, or best case scenario, $4,000. Now, can this team do it? I think absolutely it could. When you're looking at potential clean sheets, Leno would be there. Against Burnley, we can definitely see Neco getting AA and clean sheets. Bruno Fernandes, I showed last video, he can score against anyone. And Everton are definitely beatable. I mean, any Liverpool game at home, they can score 3 goals this season. And Van Dijk's just been in killer form. He's a sort of player that's putting up 60 averages, and then if he gets a goal, that's your sort of hundreds like we saw against Atleti on the weekend. That's the basic analysis, but I actually think I can do a lot better. So looking at the team, when you see across my basically 2 concepts, because all it takes is 1 DNP, you've got to have a support act. I do not have a good centre-back. So if we're looking at in-season, which I have to play Salah, Aït-Nouri's injured, Neco's already selected, Keane plays against Liverpool. So Robinson's my best option. So in this case, would you put a worse card, or your captain, your best card, actually in your second team? Would you be doing Van Dijk and then bring in? We obviously need to bring an in-season card in, so we'll bring in maybe a Iwobi, Moise Kean, a Iwobi, Garner, putting up good scores, but against Liverpool you'd struggle. So would you guys be doing this and putting Salah in your main team? Because I think that's what a lot of people would do. They'd say, right, I'm weak in defence, let's get 2 options rather than 1. And whilst I don't think this option is awful, you'd probably captain Salah. I think it's actually very good. Obviously, it's basically the same team we have, but we've got Liverpool correlation. We've seen, Salah maybe getting back to form. That's not the way I'm sitting on it at the moment. And making this video right now, I'm pondering whether this is the best team. No, it's not, right? When you look at Sorare, you're attacking or you're defending certain weeks. I've spoke about this before. Division 1, with these sort of fixtures, I'm attacking. I'm attacking as hard as I can. I'm full sending, which means putting in the stars. So the best team is Van Dijk, who's one of the best average players on the game right now. Salah in the league hasn't been great. If you look at Everton defensively, they can be very solid, especially in big games like, a derby. So between Van Dijk and Salah, I think the majority would go with Salah. I spoke about why Van Dijk is the best option last week. I was right. You'll be able to see very shortly if I'm wrong. But completely overlooked Cole Palmer because he's got a difficult fixture. Now, maybe this is just me, but that's the way I've been doing it. And some of you at home would say United's not a difficult fixture. What we know about United is they are conceding goals. 2 to Burnley, 1 to Arsenal. Who else did they? Was it 3 to City or 4 in the end? I think it was 3 to City. So they're conceding goals, even though they do look good on the attack. They're also not scoring them. But I think they'll come together in attack. I think they'll start scoring goals, but I still think they'll be defensively weak because that shape can be exploited because everyone knows exactly how they're going to play. So this is actually what I consider my best team. And why I say I'm attacking this week is because Palmer's only a 70% likely to play, obviously can be rested. But in these scenarios, you've got to take your 70-80% risk. Same with Wirtz. Wouldn't shock me if he was rested. But we're attacking this week. We're not defending. We're not sitting back. We're hoping to, get that top 20 plus. So this is actually how I get my best team. And what that does is basically drop Neco Williams out. So would you want Nico, it actually is. Would you want Nico Williams or Palmer? Burnley vs United. It might seem tight, but Palmer can easily rip 100. And when you're attacking, you're thinking of who's got the most, ability to smash a score, and that for me is Parma. That leaves the second team looking like this, and I think from the first draft, this has actually already made both of our teams much better. These are where the strengths will come, and if every player starts and gets 60, 70 minutes, I think we could be looking at a really good score. What does worry me is I don't want to underrate Brentford. They're actually a lot better than people think. I think when they lost Thomas Frank, everyone was like, myself included, oh, we're going to struggle. They'll have a new manager that's new to the league, never used them. That's fine. This manager looks decent enough, but their squad is actually a lot better than people think, even with losing players. So not a fantastic team, but they can definitely score. But that's great, that gives Leno his chance to make saves. It's not lost on me that Pickford could be the better option here, because Liverpool will just be sending at them, like probably Isak, Salah, Cody Gakpo and Wirtz. That saves. And, Everton defensively are solid. Unfortunately, I can't see it. I really just can't see... I just can't see it. When you're looking at captain selections, again, this first team, anyone could get the armband. For me, it's just Van Dijk's form. If we look back, 96 against Atletico is great, but 84 in a 1-0 win, 84 basically in a 0-0 here, 71 against Arsenal with nothing, 69, all season long, excluding that one Newcastle game where they should have really lost. The guy's been electric. And I don't see Everton dominating possession. As much as I could see them scoring, putting up a good game, I think it's counter-attack. I think it's quick flowing football. That domination of possession gives Van Dijk passes, pass into the final third, possessions won. That change of possession obviously gets him duels won, tackles won. On the counter-attack, it gives him chance for last-man tackles. It's definitely a good option. Wirtz is putting up nice scores, and he's just missing decisives. If this guy had caught, if this guy had assisted Van Dijk's header on midweek when it was Szoboszlai that took the corner instead, because Wirtz was off, say that happened, everyone would be saying how good this guy is. What would that score be? Like a 79, 80 score? Yeah, if we're looking at the Premier League, not being that impressive, right? But he's starting to find his form. He just needs an assist or a goal, which he can get anywhere. But it's not the week I'm going to risk it. I do think Palmer could rip 100. I do think he'll start. I just think... I like him, but obviously, even between Wirtz and Palmer, it'd probably be Wirtz. Just easier fixture. It's sort of that simple. But I do really rate Chelsea in this sort of new shape. And I don't think they've got a Champions League midweek. I think it's a cup game, like FA Cup or something, where they'll probably rest him. So expect him to start in the league, almost certainly for me. I'd have him at 85. I'd probably put him at percentage-wise. And the rest, sort of picks self. Paulinho was rested midweek. Pretty certain he would play. Iwobi, I don't really know about. I know there's a couple of Fulham fans that watch my videos, so if you could let me know. But this is what I see as the best team.
So, fair to say, yesterday didn't go well. Wirtz starting on the bench was never a good start, and I got the captain wrong. All round, just a bad day. But for some reason, it doesn't feel too bad. I don't know if it's the fact I'm on holiday, or the free beers, or the fact I'm sitting in first place in my second division team. I woke up to Nico Williams. He already had a goal, and then he's got a last man tackle as well. Pickford got some keeper sweeper points, which I saw live, was fuming they didn't give, but that got added back. And also I was asleep for the Fulham game. Woke up to Alex Iwobi, goal and assist. $800 currently because I'm top of Division 2. I've hit my hot streak. Let's see where this finishes, baby. Cheers to that.
The only thing I'd add to that, which I want to make sure you guys are doing at home now, is XP boosting. So not just collection, but if we're looking at Leno, who's in my top team, if he's got a chance to go up 1%, which he does, perfect. So yeah, I'm getting an extra 1% on Leno now. He's gone to 11%. I've got 14-day cooldown, but my XP, I've got 10,000 rare. So, you know, if you do have cards in your top teams, let's make sure they're all getting XP maxed. I haven't done it for my classic Van Dijk. The reason is just because how much it takes. So he is 9th. He's at the 9th level out of 10, and it would cost 8,000. So basically all of them. Keep in mind, he won't play every week. Some weeks it'll be Salah. Some weeks it'll be Saka. That's the sort of balancing act you've got to do. But any of these brand new in-season cards that are having a good run in decent teams, just get them XP leveled up. I don't think someone like Palm will be available, because most of the time you should just do this as soon as they are available. Palmer is available. Welcome, welcome to getting XP boosted as well. The key part to remember after this, surely Bruno's not available as well. Bruno is available, right? So this is key. I've just got 1% on Leno, Bruno, and Palmer. I mean, I'm going to have to check Verts now. All my first team players, this could be the difference between $200 and $100. Thankfully, yeah, Verts is on a cooldown. So definitely be doing that at home in your own lineups. And when you are looking at your lineups, don't forget that I think you actually need to resave your team. So at the minute, where would we have? I think he's on 10%. But so look at Palmer's on 23. Let's not save this. Where can I see? I'm pretty sure he's actually only on 22 if I was to click into him. So he's 23 there. Does he go up to 24? Let's see. Because I'm pretty sure this doesn't auto-save. So it looks like it has. Maybe it's because I did it before the deadline. But yeah, always save your teams. If you've made any changes, save your teams as late as possible, because I've had it before where XP hasn't been applied, and I even reached out to Sarah and was like, hey, my XP wasn't applied, and they're like, oh, you didn't save your team until after, and I could prove I did save my team afterwards, and they were like, sorry, you're right, it was a bug. So that's how I know you need to resave your teams if you are getting more collection bonus or more XP bonus, which is what I've done. We have the community team. You guys absolutely loved it. So these rewards for this week are going to Dub FC. If you want to join the community team, if you want to win rewards based off my limited team, all you need to do is either comment or donate to the channel. Link are in the description. This week looks really strong with Rodri and Guardiola coming back to their best against Napoli. Obviously it was against 10 men, but I think they both put up 82 scores with no decisive actions, which shows how good they are. I didn't realise Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't certain. I do have a bit of essence I could use, but I think when I checked it, yeah, it's all-star essence, so ripping it is most likely not going to help my team this week. So I might have to go out and get a forward. It's not a case of if I can afford it, it's a case of if I get time, because I'm recording this and I'm shooting straight to the airport, and then of course I want to get a decent value player. I don't want to get ripped off. I'm actually very excited for my contender team for the first time in ages, because Wakazaka's just dropped down to 70%, which isn't great, but basically they've got two teams, so I've got two chances to score, and Lino always has a chance to rip. Outside of that, my classic team, this one's a bit weak. It's basically next selection, and this one's fine. You know, it's not going to win anything. Sorry, it's not going to come top 50. You know, best it's coming is 50th to 100th in my opinion. Just the fixtures aren't there in Champ. You know, I haven't even looked who Bayern are playing, but they'll probably have a good game. So, you know, they'll be dominating. Obviously, Barca playing Getafe is a great fixture. So those are sort of how the team's looking. Beyond that, we made a little bit of acquisitions. This is actually a limited team, and yeah, to say I don't care for it would be completely correct. I could drop these into an arena, but I just don't think that's strong enough either. So just to touch on my acquisitions, they're very, very small, but I do think you should be doing this at home. I looked at my assessment of where I'm weak, and where I was weak was if my goalkeepers get injured. So I've gone and bought the backups for both, and I've instantly vaulted them. That and voting Saka during his injury, which, you know, I think you guys should be doing. If you look at my vault, I won't take you through it all, but there's no really strong players that I'm missing out on in rare except for Saka. So that means when Saka's back fit, I can unvolt him. I only lose 1% of my vault, but that means until he's back, I am gaining 1%, and I wasn't doing that before this week. So that sort of shows you that, you know, I am making mistakes. This guy should have been voted immediately, so I would have gained 1% for my previous weeks. But, you know, these things happen. It does come with a risk. It's not free 1%, because if Pickford and Saka got injured and Saka returned in the same week, I wouldn't know whether to unvolt Saka or Mark Travers, who's going to replace Jordan Pickford. So what this is getting me is collection bonus, because I've got more cards, you know, purchased from the market. This one's actually special edition, which was very nice and lucky to pick up. I've got the backup, so I've got an insurance option, is what I call it, and collection bonus, and a more vault score. So I'd definitely be in favour of getting the backups. You can see here, not really increased my total spend too much. I won some hot streaks last week. Net spend 3.8. We seriously need to make a good indent on that soon, either by streaking or just putting up a good score in Division 1 or 2. I'll take a good score in Division 2 also. Means when you're looking at my team now, you can see very clearly, like, good levels of depths. Defender's still weak because Aït-Nouri's injured. Robinson, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I guess he's not fully fit. And Nico Williams is obviously fixture dependent, whilst Michael Keane will be dropping out for... is it Tarkowski? No, Tarkowski plays for Brantford when he's back. So, you know, this exposed that, say Pickford did get injured, I was only having Leno. And Leno isn't a keeper you can play every week. You know, it very much depends on who he's playing. So, yeah, that would significantly weaken my team. So thankfully the backups have come in. I think there was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Here it is. This week, Champions League wasn't focused on at all. And you can tell me if I got lucky or unlucky. I think it was just the timing that sort of hurt. I mean, I've got 500 essence. That's a win. But I did get 652 points. And I just needed a decisive from Rafinha to be, probably up with Nepenthes in the 2000 essence zone. It's quite tough. But at the same time, people only look when they're unlucky on Sorare. Rafinha last game didn't get a decisive action. 90th minute, captain, defender, header, goal. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. It's a good score. 500 essence is brilliant. In rare, that will take us to over 2,000. So maybe on holiday, sipping a couple pina coladas, I might be ripping some essence. But it all depends on the vibes that are going on, really. This mixed championship thing, I put up a decent score thanks to Man City, or mainly thanks to the red card from Napoli. So potentially I put more focus on that. But if you look this week, it's a good team, but it's got no real, like... It's not top priority for me. So yeah, I think that's pretty much me for now. Thank you to everyone recommended in the last video. There's a new hype button. So if you can click that, we'll see if it does anything. Maybe it sends this to more people, helps me get more views, and I would enjoy that. So thank you very much for watching, and all the best to you. Cheers.
So all the Premier League games have been played, and avoiding any random decisive actions being given out. That's me, P1, first in the Premier League competition, Division 2. It's over $900 of prizes for a team I didn't really expect too much from. It's a huge win for me. I've won more, but this feels more. It's just like, been going through just bad news after bad news recently in personal life. Been waiting for this holiday just to get it out. And I don't know, I feel like it's a changing of the guard in just real life, even though it's a fantasy football score. So I don't know, it feels amazing. Obviously for the content, it's going to be huge. We're going to put some money into the community team. So if you want involved, drop a comment or donate, and we'll see where this goes. I mean, There's winning on Sorare, then there's winning on holiday on Sorare. Both of them feel great. Besides that, thank you all for watching, and yeah, all the best to you. Cheers.